Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who.
My anus is bleeding.
He can't sit down.
They call them dumps, big massive dumps.
Got a flame coming out of his butthole.
Beta male.
Get in a long tube with a bunch of demons.
Don't you ever do that. Don't you ever do that. I tell you, don't do it.
Oops.
We're under attack. It is an alien force, not of this world. It's not human intelligence.
Bullshit.
Trust me, I'm like a smart person.
Bullshit.
It's not a salami sandwich.
Disappointed!
Repeat the line.
Disappointed!
How you like that, boy?
No.
Give me a break.
Stop it.
Fired.
Fired! Fired!
Bitch, move it along.
Now witness the firepower of this fully armed and operational battle station.
Don't want a lot for Christmas, just body autonomy.
Stupid. Oh yeah.
Combination. Walmart Nation. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. It's Monday, start of a new week, and we've got some news for you today. We're going to go through some of the stuff for the weekend, including, of course, Mike Pence stepping up to defend Donald Trump because of Christmas. Ah, yes, the Christmas spirit.
Stop with the questions. Celebrate.
Let's just celebrate the holidays by ignoring the coup. So we've got that. Oh, great. So that's a fun defense. We're going to talk about that. We have Carrie Leak back on her bullshit over the weekend at America Fest. Fun. We also have Marjorie Green versus sex toys. Yep. You're not going to be surprised about that. That's a fun thread. We have a gay Republican. Whoa, an openly gay Republican. Oh, wait. It looks like he has some issues. There's some red flags about his past. We're going to dive into that one. And then finally, Twitter polls not going so well for Elon Musk. Fun times. So, that said, everybody, please like and share. It's very important that you do so. With that, why don't we dive into the stories? We're going to have some fun. We'll start out with, of course, Donald Trump.
I hope the Justice Department understands the magnitude of the very idea of indicting a former president of the United States. I think that would be terribly divisive in the country at a time when the American people want to see us heal. At this time of year, we're all thinking about the most important things in our lives, our faith, our family, and my hope is the Justice Department will think very carefully.
And your whole family will be together for the...
That's right. That's former Vice President Mike Pence. And he does not want the Department of Justice to indict Trump, because of the whole holiday thing. Look, holiday cheer, Christmas trees, we got to deck the halls, all that stuff. I mean, who's got time to worry about a little thing called insurrection? It's Jingle Bell time. Let's do the Jingle Bell rock, everybody. Yeah, fruitcake, woo! Hey, the Yuletide isn't going to get gay on its own. Let's go. Stop worrying about Trump.
We have to keep our country gay.
That's insane. Okay, Mike Pence, what are you doing? They tried to have you murdered. Look, the reality is, The January 6th committee, which, by the way, doesn't have actually any power to indict a sitting or former president, but they can make a recommendation. They did. They made actually about 4 recommendations to the Justice Department as follows: conspiracy to defraud the government, conspiracy to make a false statement, otherwise known as lying, which Donald Trump does as easily as he breathes, obstructing an official proceeding, and inciting or assisting an insurrection. That's the big one. Sounds like a big one here. Okay? But, Pence, looking at that, the possibility of that. And he's like, yeah, but what about Holly Jolly time? Okay. I'm just saying, the American people, we need to heal. We need to heal by, not holding anybody accountable for anything. Again, what kind of an argument is this, right? In reality, the country would actually heal if we decided to hold the person who helped tear the country apart accountable. That would go towards some healing. Maybe show that people like the insurrection based on the election conspiracies is bad and you shouldn't do it and you shouldn't support it. I'm just saying. Maybe that would be a good thing to teach people, that if they do something wrong, if they do crime, they should be held accountable. We don't do that when it comes to powerful people. Look, here's the other thing, right? The ridiculousness of this argument. Okay, what's to prevent this one from being used at any other time for any other reason? I mean, there are plenty of holidays, so you don't see prosecutors, though, saying for, anybody else, hey, look, I know you stole a bunch of money, you robbed a bank and everything, but it's almost Easter, so just let it go. I'm sure the holiday, look, it's too divisive to charge you with this crime. So why don't we just, let it go because it's the holidays? No, you don't ever see that at all. You know how many people are indicted during the holidays? A lot of people, turns out. Even powerful people. That said, there's more because, look, we have more cover from Mike Pence when it comes to Trump. Take a look.
Congress has no formal role in Justice Department decisions. They can make recommendations today. But when it comes to the Justice Department's decision about bringing charges in the future, I would hope that they would not bring charges against the former president. I don't look. As I wrote in my book, I think the president's actions and words on January 6th were reckless. But I don't know that it's criminal to take bad advice from lawyers, and so I hope the Justice Department is careful.
There might be criminal referrals on that too.
Now he also went after the January 6th committee, like, it's too partisan, too many Democrats on it. There's only 2 Republicans. Republicans had a chance to be represented on the committee, and they all declined. They weren't interested because, partisan. We don't want to look into this at all. We don't care about January 6th. That's a Republican message. But look, let's go to how Mike Pence is weak. And I'm not saying that lightly. He is definitely weak.
Beta male. Beta.
Okay. Look, he says, that's a little reckless. It's a little reckless. Dude almost had you murdered. He was tweeting while there were people in the Capitol building hunting for mostly Democrats. And then decided to tweet out, how he was very, very disappointed in Mike Pence not doing the thing that he claimed that Mike Pence was to be able to do, which is to halt the certification and therefore halt the transfer of power and therefore keep Donald Trump in the presidency. That caused his followers to chant, "Hang Mike Pence." I mean, you don't really have to read into it that far to understand the meaning here. But when they said hang Mike Pence, they didn't really actually mean to hang Mike Pence. No. They just, they meant something else, obviously. Maybe it was hang my pants. That's what it is. They were just doing some dry cleaning, hang my pants. A little reckless, you can't really do laundry in the Capitol building, but, Donald Trump, a little reckless, though. They could have murdered him. And by the way, Donald Trump knew this, and he's like, I don't care. Oh, I guess Mike should have cared about the election a little bit more than me. Oh, right, yeah. Now, getting to the defense of bad lawyers. The lawyers gave him some really bad advice. And so, that's why he shouldn't be held accountable at all, just even though he followed that terrible advice or attempted to. So here's the thing. If you're broke and somebody says, hey, why don't you just rob a bank? I mean, that could be considered advice. It's bad advice. If you go and do it, you're going to get in trouble. You should. But, on the same line of that, right? So if that same person who also told you to rob a bank also helped you to rob that bank or helped you plan the robbing of said bank, then they would become an accessory. So those lawyers, by the way, John Eastman, he's kind of like Rudy Giuliani, all of them are like, oh, say, is it getting a little hot in here? Or you know what? Maybe I'm a little cold. I should go to Bermuda or something, Cayman Islands, somewhere. Maybe that's not has an extradition treaty with the United States. Maybe because it's, not looking too good here for us. But yes, there would be an accessory. And so, again, these are some serious crimes. But Mike Pence is telling us, just ignore that. At least ignore Donald Trump doing it. The bad advice from the lawyers, it's bad advice. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? We can't hold them accountable, though. That's the one thing we can't do. Oh, okay. Sure. Now, look, we actually can hold a former president accountable. I know we haven't really done it before. The fact that he is a former president only complicates things when it comes to the political side, the political calculation. And that's what Mike Pence is appealing to. He's saying, look, the political thing is, it wouldn't look good. For me, for Republicans. And so we don't want to do that because it looks really bad for us, because it turns out there's a lot of people, congressmen even, who had supported Donald Trump's efforts to try to overturn the election using fake electors. And we find that out from the different texts between Mark Meadows and these different politicians. And so these Republican congressmen. So, that's a little awkward. That whole thing. So yeah, Mike Pence ultimately, though, is proving that he is weak, sad, and pathetic. And I think the only reason he's doing this, other than trying to hawk his stupid book that nobody's going to read, is he wants to court MAGA voters. Understand that the Republican Party now going forward, they may be ditching Donald Trump himself, the person, but they're still going to do Trumpism, maybe under a different name, but it's going to still be the same policies. It's going to still be the same attitude towards people, minorities, people of color, LGBTQ community. It's still going to be the same vitriol. They're going to try to put the mask back on it, on those terrible policies that they're doing, and that Donald Trump had done as well. So he wants those MAGA voters. Again, MAGA voters like, well, we want Donald Trump, but without Trump. We want to put the mask back on because it turns out people don't like how ugly we are. Not in a physical sense, but in like a who you are kind of sense. Real like showing the ugliness inside, the selfishness, the greed, the deplorable nature, I guess you could say, of some of these voters and how they really, really enjoyed being able to be so open with their hate until it bit them in the ass. And now they got to put that mask back on and hide how they really feel about the rest of America. So that's what Mike Pence is aiming for, to get those people and to say, look, I'm going to do the same things that Trump did. I'm just going to do them undercover. That's it. And so don't fall for it if you're a Republican. Don't fall for the act. Mike Pence is, again, just an incredibly sad person. Okay, let's move on. Go to Carrie Lake. Failed Republican candidate for governor Carrie Lake is still crying about the midterm election that she had lost. During her appearance at America Fest. Yes, that's right. America Fest. He had this to say.
They are daring us to do something about it. Let me tell you what I'm going to do. They have built a house of cards here in Maricopa County. I think they're all wondering what I'm going to do. I'll tell you what, I'm not just going to knock that house of cards over. We're going to burn it to the ground.
Oh, we're gonna burn it to the ground. Yeah, the house of cards. Yeah, that's talking about the Maricopa County elections because you lost. Now she added this: they messed with the wrong woman. They messed with the wrong movement of we the people. Got less people, and we're not going to take it anymore. You do not steal our vote and get away with it. You don't. Which the correct response is, ma'am, this is a Wendy's. She also went after the media, urging the audience to turn around and boo people who were recording, saying their days are numbered. So, funny enough, it wasn't entirely clear that the media that she was insulting might have been just a production crew hired by Turning Point USA. Weird thing, you know. Like, oh, hey, like, what are you doing? Like, we're just filming this. We work for Turning Point. We work for Charlie Kirk. What are you doing? Yelling at us. Well, okay, anyway. Fun times. So, look, the whole point here is Republicans being sore losers. But, you know, what's going to happen as a result of that, them not being able to admit that they lost and thinking that they can will themselves back into power, which is not how it works. You're going to have more threats, you know, to the media, obviously, and there's already been quite a few. There's also threats towards the actual governor, Katie Hobbs. And look, you know, I've had criticisms of Katie Hobbs, basically that she didn't even barely run her election, but she won. That's good. Kept Carrie Lake out, and that was a real concern. The other thing that Carrie Lake is going to do is probably raise a lot of money from MAGA. And look, this is their new grift. The new grift, same as the old grift. But in thinking about this story, I kind of realized something, right? It's not that these people will change their mind if they're given the facts. I mean, I guess we already knew that, that they're beyond it. But they need these conspiracies for their worldview to actually make sense. Remember, according to them, they're the real Americans. They're real patriots. They're the ones that are ordained by God to be the rightful people in charge of the country, running the country and essentially running your lives. The idea that they lost is unfathomable to them. They can't understand it. It can't be that the majority doesn't agree with them and didn't vote for them. No. It's got to be something else. It's got to be the media. It's got to be the deep state. It's got to be Antifa. It's got to be, Satan. It's got to be the demons.
It's the devil, okay?
It's got to be something. It's got to be something. Anything but admitting that they just didn't get as many votes. They didn't get enough votes to actually win. And they will never, never own up to this. It doesn't matter how many facts are presented. They will reject them completely out of hand because it just does not go along with their worldview, what they believe. And that's dangerous. That's a problem. They do not accept reality. But look, according to the exit polls, there are some good things here. Many independents and even some Republicans voted against these Republican candidates who pushed the nonsense election fraud conspiracies. Even though, of course, they didn't think the Democrats were doing a good job. You know, they cite things like, we got inflation, I don't like the direction the country is going under the Democrats, but goddamn, look at these people, they're insane. This is what we have as a standard bearer. This is our king, or queen in this case. And Donald Trump is king? No. They look at them and they say, God damn, these are lunatics. These are insane people. I can't vote for this. No. There's a reason many of the people who backed Donald Trump's election denial had lost in this midterm. And it's not just because it's about denying elections. Overall, the greater point is that these people have been denying reality. Objective reality. And most people, regardless of how they identify, I think we can all agree on what's objective reality, but not the small amount of, QAnon, election denier, conspiracy theorists who just, no matter what, they're in this bubble, they ain't getting out. Okay. Let's go to Marjorie Meltdown Green. I did not think that this would be a lower third, but what happens? Great. Lovely. Okay. Wow. This is reality. This is our lives. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene has declared war on Walmart. Huh. So, first of all, about time. Now, is she mad over Walmart's exploitative labor practices? The fact that they pay employees so little, they have to get on government benefits in order to survive? Or how about the practice of moving into an area, driving the local stores out of business, and then threatening to close down unless they get special government city tax breaks? No, of course not. It's because they sell dildos. That's right. They sell products that make women feel good. Huh. Of course. In fact, here she is. Tweet thread. Just going to show you the first part of it. Walmart. Many of your customers, like in my district, are reaching out to me about sex toys being sold in your Dalton store. They're extremely upset. Of course they would be. And absolutely horrified that sex toys are being sold openly right next to kids' toothbrushes. This is grooming. I got news for you. That's not grooming. That's not what grooming means. Want to know what grooming means? Because nobody seems to understand, at least on the right wing, nobody seems to understand what that term actually means. Grooming is a set of manipulative behaviors that predators will use to gain access to their potential victims in order to coerce them over time to agree with the abuse and to reduce the risk of being caught. The process involves training the victims to keep secrets from adults they trust and desensitizing them to discussions of a sexual nature, as well as what should be unwelcome touching. And the goal, of course, is the sexual abuse of minors. That's a problem. That is a huge issue. That said, there's nothing about selling these products in the store, which are widely used by many adults, that is considered to be grooming. Now, I think maybe we could agree that the placement is unfortunate. Okay, move them. Move them to a different aisle. But, and if they do, by the way, problem solved. But the fact that they're in the store and they could be bought by people, adults, that's not grooming by definition. These things existing and being sold is not grooming. They are not aimed or marketed towards children. I mean, look, she continues though. Oh, gets better. It's better. Selling sex toys openly where children are exposed to them is wrong, inappropriate, immoral, indecent, perverted, shameful, and incredibly harmful to children. How, though? How? I can't answer that, can she? No. Another response. I cannot comprehend how we got to a place where people think they have the right to force sexual adult issues on children. You do not have that right. Because no matter how hard you try to twist your perverse ideas, the reasons any of this nastiness is okay. You are wrong. You are wrong, he says. Well, obviously, Marjorie Greene has an issue with
sexual anarchy
in Walmart. So, let's get to the language here. By something existing, by these sex toys existing in the store, that is somehow forcing them on everyone around, including children. The fact that you can buy something is forcing them on other people who are not buying them? That doesn't make any sense. Again, something existing is not forcing that thing onto you. It's just not. Funny enough, what Marjorie Greene actually wants to do is to force her beliefs. It's all projection, okay? Wants to force all her beliefs and all her values onto all of us, using her position of power. So, look, religion exists, okay? Now, religion's existence alone doesn't force itself on me. I don't care if you're a Christian. I don't care if you're a Muslim. I don't care if you're a Hindu or, if you're Jewish. It doesn't matter to me. Your existence and your beliefs, practice in your own life, have no effect on me whatsoever. That's not forcing me or indoctrinating or grooming me at all, or anyone else. Just the existence alone. Now, the existence, and by the way, they use this, grooming argument, or just the fact that LGBTQIA plus people exist. They, for some reason, consider that to be forcing something onto them, which again is not true. The real forcing here is when lawmakers like Marjorie Greene ban LGBTQIA people from existing openly as themselves. Like going out in public as a trans woman. Which, by the way, I got a secret for you. They can never tell. They say they can always tell. They can never tell. And it's always hilarious that they think they can. They end up usually, and by the way, actually, it turns out to not be hilarious, because what you end up having is, cisgender women that are being called transgender mistakenly, and then getting attacked as if they are transgender, and transgender people shouldn't be attacked at all. And then they're dragging cis women into it too, because, we can always tell you're a little tall for a woman. Are you sure you ain't got a penis? Yeah, how about you mind your fucking business and stop worrying about other people's genitals? That would be great. But, again, they try to ban people from existing, certain types of people that they don't like. They also try to, like Ted Cruz, ban dildos just completely from the state of Texas. You can't have more than 6, apparently, in Texas. Or they, try to, ban certain types of sex, abortion, which is funny enough, in the actual Bible, is fine with it. Fine with it. They're fine with abortion, even teaches you how to do it. And they also force things on us when they try to ban and destroy secular education and government. That's forcing their beliefs onto us. Whereas these things merely existing, they think is being forced on them. You're shoving things down our throat. I don't know. And maybe in some cases, you want something shoved down your throat. In some cases, not all cases. The store selling dildos, not forcing those on you. Nor does it have anything to do with children. I mean, you could make the same argument like, you are selling guns in that Walmart, AR-15s. What are you teaching our children? Grooming our children to murderers, right? No, it's a ridiculous argument. They never think about that other side, do they? No. But what's really going on here, I think, part of it, is that Marjorie Greene is afraid of women being able to pleasure themselves without necessarily needing a partner, a man, specifically. And I always think it's very strange that they have such deep-seated fears. By the way, women necessarily need a sex toy for that too. But what they're so afraid of women having an orgasm. It's weird, but it's true. There's nothing that religious zealots hate more than adult women taking charge of their own bodies and providing their own pleasure. They despise it. And look, there's a lot of weirdo guys, conservative men mainly, that are afraid that they're going to be replaced by a sex toy. If you're a good partner and you're paying attention to the needs of your significant other, you will not be replaced. Can't be replaced. You've got nothing to worry about. It just really makes me think that a lot of these people just feel so deeply inadequate. And it's really sad when you think about it. It makes me feel bad for them and their partners. Because apparently, they ain't having fun in the bedroom. Okay, there's no
sexual anarchy.
There's none of that going on. There's none of that. There's no fun. Nothing.
I have not loved this conversation.
Okay. But anyway, no, it's the opposite of
wet ass P word.
It's very dry. Very dry. But okay, anyway. Back to the idea that this is grooming. Again, it's not. Very, very clear, right? The far right, though, is using this as a desperate attack because there's nothing left for them that they haven't called the left. Again, they call them Nazis, and then, funny enough, call them communists, which actually angers real communists because they're looking at the Democratic Party and they're like, what are you doing? Those guys aren't communists. They're super right-wingers. What's wrong with you? No, we're the actual communists. They seem to be ignored, though. But then they also, say things like, liberalism is a mental disorder. You're terrorists. You hate America. And look, none of those things are true, obviously. But the only thing that's left is to call them pedophiles. Because it's literally one of the worst things that you can call someone and you could be. There's nothing worse than a person who preys on children. And so the right wing says, well, none of our other attacks stick. So here we go. We're going to attack LGBTQ people. We're going to attack educators. And we're just going to attack anybody who's on the left and, accuse them of being a pedophile. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And by the way, getting back to Marjorie Greene here, she doubles down in the next couple tweets. One, she says, if you want to know where all the people who support grooming children with sex toys, again, it's not what anybody wants to do, check out the sick comments and quote tweets on this thread. She wrote, tagging the FBI and people who, were responding to her, saying, I would tag the FBI, but after Twitter files, apparently the seventh floor cares more about censorship than groomers and predators. So look, the groomer panic started by the right wing has actively been harming attempts to stop child sex trafficking and to stop predators. You know how? Because it wastes their time. These QAnon conspiracy theories waste the time of law enforcement that is actually set up to fight child trafficking and child sexual exploitation. You've got these government agencies now more concerned with like, oh, you know, there's these people that are shooting up a pizza shop because someone thinks that Hillary Clinton is down in the basement molesting children and drinking their blood. Well, now we got to deal with that. There was no basement. There was no Hillary Clinton in the basement. Okay. There wasn't any of that stuff happening. But we have all of these, you know, weirdos out there that are convinced like, oh no, there's a secret pedophile cabal, you know, that's out there, and they're out there, they're drinking the adrenochrome. It's insane and incredibly harmful. But again, they use it to target the LGBTQ plus community, and you know, falsely claim them as being predators, pedophiles. You want to find real predators versus children? I would suggest looking at the churches. I have a feeling you might find a lot of them there. Because when it comes down to it, really, it's not just the churches, but places where you have inordinate amounts of power. That's where you're going to find predators, because predators are always attracted to power that they can use to find their next victims. When you look at the trans community specifically, the least powerful people. Okay. Let's move on. Already prepared to be shocked on this one. Actually, no, it is a really fascinating story. Let's get to it. A newly elected Republican member of the House, who actually is openly gay. So you might think, hey, look, we've got progress on that issue. Nationally elected an openly gay Republican. However, this person, unrelated to him being gay, of course, has been caught up in some fabrications. So now, George Santos recently became, again, the first openly gay Republican elected to Congress. That doesn't matter. But according to a New York Times investigation, this representative-elect may have been misrepresenting, or may have misrepresented a few elements of his biography and resume during his campaign. So let's get into it. What did he potentially lie about, according to this investigation? His education. Okay. So now, Santos claims to have been graduated from Baruch College in 2010. However, according to the school, the New York school could find no records of Santos attending. Okay, look, maybe you went under a different name. I don't know. Maybe he might want to come out with some clarifications. But there's more. Santos' biography on the National Republican Congressional Committee also includes his mention of having attended NYU. Okay, New York, New York University, great. Problem. NYU says, we have no record of this person existing or going to our college. Huh. Okay, that's bizarre. We're 0 for 2. 0 for 2. So now, look, does it matter where he went to school? No, not necessarily. Especially when it comes to Republican, it's like, we actually like the poorly educated, so it's even better if you flunked out of high school. We will definitely elect you. Because we don't like smart people. So Yeah.
Stupid.
Okay. Anyway, a minute to find that. So, look, the idea that he would lie about going to school, these two different colleges, a little strange, a little sus. There's some sussy here. Okay. But is that all? No, it turns out his work history has a couple discrepancies as well. Santos claims to have worked for Citigroup and Goldman Sachs after graduating from one of the colleges that he apparently, allegedly, never attended. So, yay, right? Now, when asked, neither Wall Street firm had any record of his employment. Strange. So, look, he had to have had a job before, right? I mean, I don't know, like, I guess. I mean, according to records, and we don't know if this is true or not, but he was the regional director of a Florida-based harbor city capital. So, no, this is a job in banking, right? I mean, it's an investment firm, so, well, is it though? Was it a legit firm? Well, it turns out Harbor City Capital has been accused by the SEC of running a $17 million Ponzi scheme. Oh. Now, that said, according to the Times, Santos has not been named in the lawsuit against the company, and he himself has denied knowledge of that scheme. Okay. I mean, sure, he's lied about, allegedly, lied about a lot of other things, but, okay. You might have lied about this one, but we don't know. There's more. Now, it turns out, I wouldn't be surprised if he had been involved in the Ponzi scheme, because he may have also defrauded donors to a charity involving animals. Our furry little friends. According to the Times, Friends of Pets, a charity that Santos claims to have founded back in 2013, also appears to not be real. The IRS found no records that the organization held tax-exempt status, and neither the New York nor New Jersey Attorney General's offices found records of the organization being registered as a charity. Furthermore, the intended beneficiary of a 2017 fundraiser thrown by Santos says they never received any funds from that fundraiser. So, you know, probably ran off with it. That sounds familiar, doesn't it? You know, fake charities. But look, Ponzi schemes are one thing, but when you allegedly defraud Fido, that's a problem. Huge problem. What kind of monster steals from animals? But it gets better. Turns out, according to the report, he's had a few issues paying his bills. Ah, this sounds really familiar. Santos has been twice evicted for non-payment of rent, once in 2015 and again in 2017. Wait a minute, I thought he was working at Goldman Sachs or Citigroup. Why wouldn't he be able to afford his rent? Weird. Very strange. And by the way, it's very funny for a person who claimed that he and his family owned 13 rental properties. You would think that if you or your family owned all these properties, that you would be able to live in one of them and not getting kicked out for not paying your rent. Huh. According to financial disclosure forms, only one apartment in Rio. Oh, Rio. Nice. And property records in New York City and Nassau County show no document or deeds associated with him. So only the apartment in Rio. That's associated with him, his family, or his family firm, the DeVolder Organization. Strange name for that. Despite having reported $750,000 in salary and over $1 million in dividends from the company, Santos listed no DeVolder Organization clients in his congressional financial disclosure. Kedrick Payne, vice president of the Watchdog Campaign Legal Center, former deputy chief counsel of the Office of Congressional Ethics, told the New York Times, quote, This report raises red flags because no clients are reported for a multi-million-dollar client services company. Yes, that is very strange. He added, the congressman-elect should explain what's going on. Yes, because there's a lot of strange things going on here. A lot of very interesting things going on here. I would like to see some answers here. What's going on? But there's more. The Times revealed that in 2008, Santos stole a checkbook from a man his mother was caring for while she was working as a nurse in Brazil. So, why would you steal the checkbook? Oh, right, because fraud. He later confessed to using the checkbook to purchase shoes and was later charged with the crime. However, Brazilian prosecutors say the case remains unsolved as Santos just ignored official court summons. Why am I going to do that? I don't care. What? I stole money and I bought shoes. Okay, but why don't you just have all this money? Why don't you just pay the back? Shoes. It's so weird. It's so weird. There's so much here. But finally, we may have the coup de grace of shittiness. In a November interview, Santos also claimed that his company had lost 4 employees in the June 2016 mass shooting at Orlando's Pulse nightclub. However, Times found no evidence of any of the 49 victims of that tragedy ever having worked at any of Santos at all. Why would you lie about that? Oh yeah, no, look, I'm a victim too. You see, I had my employees that were killed in the terrible Pulse nightclub shooting. Except that you lied about that. I don't know why. I don't get why he would lie about that. It's so incredibly bizarre. Now, there's more, by the way. Policy-wise, Santos, you can see why he's was elected as a Republican. He had said that abortion is as barbaric as slavery, and his voiced support for Florida's Don't Say Gay law. So, there's a reason that Republicans allowed him to run and supported him. Oh, look, he's a gay person, but it turns out he's just as homophobic as the rest of us. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, get this guy on the ballot. He could be our, another of our Dave Rubins, except not as much of a clown. Yeah, but an incredible alleged grifter, though. He also was a Capitol rioter. He had attended the January 6th Stop the Steal rally that led to the storming of the Capitol and was recently caught on video saying that he had wrote a nice check to help cover the legal fees of some of the rioters. You know, wouldn't be surprised if that check bounced. But, I don't know for sure. Don't know for sure. And then earlier this month, he had attended a Manhattan gala alongside of white nationalists and far-right conspiracy theorists. So there it is, a history of alleged questionable claims about himself, his education, his work history, admissions of some criminal behavior, and of course, a whole lot of terrible policy positions. What else could this person be hiding? Curious. Love to know. Now, look, one more thing. The idea of him being a gay Republican, you realize they do exist, right? Look, there are log cabin Republicans. I don't know how much they have to hate themselves to be a log cabin Republican, but they exist. And they love tax cuts. Let's be honest about that. There's a reason gay Republicans exist, and it's because of tax cuts and deregulation. Look at Dave Rubin. Dave Rubin! Yeah, my brain is in recovery mode from taking in these high-level ideas, and also all this money. They basically pay him to hate the gay community and to talk about how, remember when he did this whole, for a while, oh, I'm actually a liberal, but I'm a classical liberal, and I'm not actually a right-winger. And I'm just telling you how terrible the Democrats are and how terrible the left and the gay community are. But you know, I'm a liberal. I'm a classical liberal, though. No, you're a right-winger, and you just love money. And that's it. You sold out your principles for an extra buck. Peter Thiel is another one. Peter Thiel is gay. He's also a massive investor in conservative causes. And the reason that he does so is because, well, look, he wants to bring in like a technocratic monarchy. Just insane, anti-democratic. But the reason that they support, conservatives is because tax cuts, deregulation. Peter Thiel loves that deregulation because it saves him money. And he doesn't care about anybody else. And these people think that the right wing hanging out with white nationalists and conspiracy theorists, QAnoners, they think, well, these guys aren't going to come for me. I'm one of the good ones. I got news for you. At some point, they get into enough power, it's not going to matter how much money you have. Prevent them from, well, coming and taking it. That's what fascists do. They think they're protected. They're not. Ever. Ever. And so they're willing to sell out their own communities, though, for an extra buck. And all they have to do is just, I guess, hang out with people that hate them. Hope for the best. That's who they are. They're just despicable people. Okay. Fun. Speaking of tech bros, we have, yes, one story on Elon. All right. Chief Twit Elon Musk recently conducted one of his famously scientific Twitter polls, and it backfired hilariously in spectacular fashion. Now, on Sunday night, he'd asked his followers if he should step down as the CEO of Twitter. Huh. Well, look at that. Well, there's the results. Yeah, should I step down as head of Twitter? I will abide by the results of the poll. Newsflash, he will not. And of course, the poll closed at 58 yes, 42 no. Now, funny enough, it actually had about 17.5 million votes. So that right there, that image is a little old, but generally you still had a result of 57.5% yes and 42.5% no. So it's not very different. Hey, look, Vox Populi. The people have spoken, Elon. The people, they have spoken.
Elon!
What are you going to do? I guess you got to go. Sorry. Now, of course, do you think that's going to happen? No, of course not. Of course not. In the replies, Musk said he had not selected a replacement. So, of course, even if he does select a replacement, which is bound to happen at some point, it's still going to be somebody who is loyal to Elon Musk, who is going to answer to him. And so it's not really going to do a whole lot to change the, trajectory of the company if you still have Elon Musk that's calling on the shots. So anyway, that said, he tweeted, "No one wants the job who can actually keep Twitter alive. There is no successor." Well, I mean, you fired everyone who could have been, who knew what they were doing. And now, as a result, your website that you massively overpaid for is turning to shit. And by shit, I mean it's filling up with Nazis. Because, again, he started actually bringing back Nazis. Literally, the leader, the head guy of the Daily Stormer is back. So, and not only that, but there's glitches, there's errors, there's tweets and messages that are disappearing. People are switching, of course, over to competitors like Mastodon. Advertisers are running away. Some have come back, to be fair. But in reality, you done kind of messed up there, Elon. You got some problems. Tremendous problems. Not even Donald Trump is back to tweeting. And that's likely because he would get sued for not using Truth Social. But anyway, and lose money. Look, that said, even members of both sides of the aisle, okay, have called him out for not actually being in favor of what he called free speech. Because he was never in favor of free speech. He's running Twitter like his own personal fiefdom, which I guess he can do. He did buy it, after all. But what he's done is banned people that challenged him, and furthermore, banned people that certain right-wingers didn't like. People like Andy No had been, tweeting accounts at him to ban, like, for example, Chad Loader. And, of course, what Andy No says apparently goes, because that's one of the right-wingers that he listens to. Loader was about to drop a whole lot of information on Twitter. But apparently you can't have that. Barry Weiss is like, whoa, Elon, what are you doing? Yeah, I did the whole Twitter thing, the Twitter files thing for you, but you just banned a whole lot of journalists, and that makes me very uncomfortable. And speaking of, again, more bannings here, you've heard of Mastodon, I mentioned earlier, which is a Twitter competitor that a lot of people are running to. Apparently, that's banned too, at least on Twitter. So I believe in competition. I believe in the free market, except, when it challenges me. Then I am going to ban it. So, yeah. There were also prominent tech journalists, Matt Bender being one of them, others from the Washington Post who had done some reporting on him. And look, claims, they revealed my my information or my real-time location. You put me in real jeopardy. Yes, that's what happened. Except that, no, there were accounts that had nothing to do, that you banned, that had nothing to do with tweeting the Elon jet. And by the way, the Elon jet didn't actually show his real-time location. They used publicly available flight data. And funny enough, Musk tweeted out his own location when he was watching the World Cup. So he gave his own real-time location. So, hey, look, maybe under your rules, Elon Musk should be banned. Hey, what are you going to do? But look, overall, the whole leadership at the site has been absolutely ridiculous. And as a result, been losing money. He's now the second richest person on Earth. And is becoming one of even the most popular people on his own unpopular people on his own website. Also, in real time, he is busting the myth of meritocracy, that rich people are somehow smarter and better than everyone else, and he is proving that, no, that is definitely not the case. Well done, I guess. Well done. Keep it up. Keep it up. Okay. With that said, that's all I got for the show today. MTG Calendar says, ownership versus position as CEO, Elon will still show he is an out-of-control boss with little to no care about what the public thinks. And you're right, NJ Calendar. That's exactly the point. Still going to be in charge. Whether, whoever he puts up as CEO, if they do something or try to do something that Elon Musk doesn't like, well, then obviously they're out of there. And again, there is no board of directors. there are investors, but I don't know if said investors will be able to be in a position to oust him. So we just don't know. His problem is he's a big man, baby. True. Very, very true. All right, anyway. That's it for the stories. Let's read some super chats here. Gabby Mathis says, we vote against Kerry and Maricopa. Well done. Dr. Zippy Mitscoot says, Twitter is one of the largest social interactive entities in existence. Wonder Man with Asperger's, a little more lucid version of Rain Man. I disagree with that because there's a lot of actually people with, I don't even like using the term Asperger's because where it comes from is a Nazi scientist, I believe. So, but anyway, it's on the spectrum. He says we all knew it was going to go great. It's not the fact that he has, any of those issues with that or being on the spectrum at all. It's just that he's a giant man baby. And that he's been somebody who's been given everything, spoon-fed, his, a wealth his entire life and has been surrounded by sycophants. That's an issue. And so when someone like that, with all that money and privilege, gets into a position of power and, is again surrounded by people who won't, who are yes men essentially, oh, you're going to abuse your power. And this is exactly what he does. Jonathan Leiter says, anyone remember when Twitter was fun? I do. It hasn't been. But yes, Pepperidge Farm remembers. A random person on the bus could run Twitter better than Elon. Yeah, true. Okay, so that's super chats. No updates on Twitch here. But okay. Anyway, thank you for going around the nation with me today. I will not be here tomorrow. We're actually taking our cat in for surgery. So, best of luck with that. Gonna cross my fingers on this. And hope she is okay. And then we're gonna, take care of her afterwards. And, again, I hope everything works out. Thank you. But we'll be back on Wednesday, and hopefully she will be feeling better on her road recovery. So with that, thank you all. Love you, and remember, change begins with you. Everybody, check out the interview with Farron Cousins. It is actually up on the Ring of Fire page. The videos that Farron and I did last week. Yes, I know there was a big delay in the team getting those videos up, but they are up now. So thank you all. We'll see you back here on Wednesday. Love you, and remember, change. Good night.
Oh no! It's like a shark, NATO, except with the...
Beta male! Beta!
Technically. Tighten up my knee. I like my knee tight.
Sexual anarchy.
Get in a long tube with a bunch of dudes.
It is an alien force, not of this world. I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
They're kicking me out the door. They're kicking me out the door.
Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see